Sorry, it might be a little spirit until I wake up or something like this.
That's fine. I'm still tired.
So we had a lot happen outside of last session. We also had, some fair amount of stuff from the session prior to that, mostly just kind of wrapping up combat, nearly having some people die, attacking a duck, standard D&D level things.
Never trust a duck. Number 1 rule.
Never comment on his smile.
If we had trusted the duck in the first place, we might have solved the problem quicker.
Except you couldn't have.
It's true.
Trusting the duck or enacting the duck would made you forget about the duck. Or was there ever a duck to begin with?
Alas, poor duck.
Poor duck.
I had fun with that. But yeah, does anyone want to attempt a, brief recap? I don't know if it's necessary, but there was a lot that happened, mostly in text RP that our
a lot
video
has happened.
doesn't have. Yeah, just a wee bit.
What you're telling me is that you need us all the voice act what happened in text chat and transfer records and get paid before the video.
There we go. Yeah, we'll do that off session. Just have everyone
read
have a recording session of that. No,
I'd rather not.
No, I want to hear your temper tantrum in real time.
I'm sure your parents want to hear it again too.
You don't understand me.
I was imagining in the whole crying thing too was that there was a lot of on Evian's shoulder.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
And I just remembered during all this, Thamor is still just covered in confetti.
Wait, you're covered in confetti?
When did you get covered in confetti?
Yeah,
when he murdered everyone in Carnival.
Right.
I think that
the equivalent of a
Thamor
bloodbath.
went burr.
Right, the equivalent of a bloodbath for Thamor.
Yep.
Right, that was a time.
Okay,
Yeah.
So are we starting like the night of, or do we want to complete the rest and start in the morning, or whatever?
Well, is there anything that needs to still be completed? Because, like I said, it kind of...
Oh, boy.
Unless there's something in the
Don't ask
most
that question.
recent text, there was still things hanging. The last I remember was Thamor. I hadn't actually read that last one. I just realized that came out crap. Between Thamor and CB.
I haven't got that.
No, I deleted that because,
I
slept the entire day.
Hey, I haven't had any sleep the past 48 hours.
Okay.
I get to sleep a little bit.
Right, so do we want to do anything with that then, or is that something you want to do off into RP space later, or text RP space later?
Probably text RP because I can actually get things out properly there.
Yeah, I just don't know if that'll change anything that'll happen now. There's
I
still
don't
some
think so.
tension with Absinthoth, though it seems like he's mostly pacified, or at least not running away.
Pacified?
Cowed?
Cowed, pacified.
That would explain why I couldn't get into that chat anymore. I'm good to be good.
The equivalent of he's not running away, screaming into the night without his belongings for people to come find him.
I'm leaving. Don't you dare try to stop me. I stopped you.
That literally was never part of the plan, but okay.
I mean, it was better that you stopped him.
Thamor stopping him would have been more entertaining.
Yeah,
it
but
would have
then,
been a bloodbath.
Yeah, and then Andros wouldn't have gotten naked, so...
That's true. That's a positive. I mean, it's not Thamor getting naked, but...
We've seen Thamor naked all the time, so...
That's the
Yeah,
point.
he's naked right now.
Though I know you use Ghostly Vision, I don't know if Thamor actually gave you a description or not.
Made a best interpretation of being vague.
We are renaming it Voyeur Vision.
Voyeur Vision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why
He
do you
wrote
have
it.
eyes
some things better left to chat, I suppose, and not to the hands of.
Roll
Not
for
somewhere you
psychic
expected
damage.
your campaign to go.
Come on, Salty. Wait, don't want that?
I don't. I don't even know.
I mean, Evian was the first one to start with Thunder Hands.
Mm,
I mean, fair. Well, no,
no,
technically.
no.
The very first was
Yeah,
Barnacle
it's gonna
inviting
be-
both women into his tent.
That did
Sure.
happen. Yeah.
I don't remember that. Oh, fuck! I do remember that now.
It's like the second session we had is you could
Yep.
both sleep with me and fit in my tent. Or something along those lines.
It's an old man. He meant it jovially, and it was innocuous.
He looked like an old man. It was still Andros.
It was still
That's fair.
Andros.
That's fair.
I guess it's just funnier to me because I knew that what was going on in the back. It's like, well,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
so much
100%.
creepier than they realized. But well, not intended creepier, but
in my tent. It's big enough.
more or less. Anyway, so is there any other things you guys want to take care of, kind of in that interlude, or do we want to complete the long rest and proceed to the morning after kind of deal?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any characters you wanted to talk to.
That wasn't a yes or no
Oh.
question, Kate.
Yes, I would.
The long rest or talk.
Yeah. She plans to
Nodding
sleep
profusely.
talk. She is not sleep talking. That's what's happening. She is doing both simultaneously.
Interpretive dance.
I yes, there was more that Evian would like to say.
Sorry.
But at the current moment that she was being pulled by Absinthoth back into the sanctuary, no idea if Zidane and Marani are there, like paying attention.
I think Reina and I decided to say that Zidane and Mirandi just checked out. It's like, screw this. Let's just go to bed before
Yep.
anyone.
Okay.
We're adults.
We
Kids
had
will
our
be
little
okay.
we had our little drama thing, and then we went to bed.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. So yes. So being towed by Absinthoth, I'm assuming that you're dragging Evian to one of the nearby rooms that you
Yes.
normally go in. Okay. Once the doors are closed, she most likely is wiping away her own tear-stained cheeks, and she just kind of has this. It takes a moment for her to think or what to say before she lets go of your hand as you're still holding on to it. I assume. She basically will probably be saying, I am sorry that I are both very much of a mess, aren't we?
Don't be sorry
Crying.
about it. It is what it is.
Well, it doesn't mean that I'm not giving up on you, you know. I know you don't want to be here, and I know you don't want to hear much more, but I need to know, Absinthoth. What do you tend to do when we get to Galron? I know we have to face your mother and everybody, but what's going to happen? I know you want to take care of Madeline, and you don't want to, and from what we experienced. Are you really gonna go that far to end everything, your connection with your family? even those who may play a part are forced to play a part. Can you really kill them? I know your mother has done so many horrible things, and I know she should be punished, but what about the rest of your family?
Don't know. That's the hardest part. If Zidane doesn't go straight for Mother, who knows what Madeline will do then? If Zidane does go straight for Mother with Madeline, it'll be like quick lime water. All they have to do is pick up the pieces. I don't know about the rest of the family. Who knows where they're at? They certainly have not done the things my mother has.
No, not that I know of, anyways. Not from what you have told me. But from what you have told me, and what your sister wants to end the House of Levier. What if she's referring to you too?
Absalas looks down and thinks about it. Maybe. When Morani was complaining that I was too callous with my sister, I don't think she'd even understand the question if she was my sister or not. If she was the same sister that was sent there many years ago, then it would only be fair for her to want to destroy everything and everyone, including me, including herself. Everything we can see, from the rising east to the setting west. I don't know.
Evian would look down, unsure herself, but she gently takes a hold of your normal hand and gives it a gentle squeeze. Well, I guess when we ever get to it, we'll get through it together. I know it's a difficult obstacle to face. I mean, everything is difficult. I don't even know where to begin myself. But as long as I get to be with you and being able to just be there and with the others, I can keep going. I have no idea what to do with the Feywilds, nor do I know what to do when we have to face Fall. I am terrified.
We'll figure it out together. That's what friends do.
I suppose. And she kind of has this little frown on her lips but she quickly reassures with a small smile. Well, By now, we should probably get our strength back. It has been a long night.
Yeah, and then we'll figure it out when we get to Galaran, one way or another.
Yeah. I hope so. And she leans forward and just gives a very small peck on your cheek before starting to leave the room to give you privacy for the night.
Thanks, Evian.
You don't need to thank me. You know I'll always be here for you. And she walks out the door to go to her own room. Okay, that's my bit. Anyone else?
Bueller.
I guess
Bueller.
that's a no.
Andros doesn't have anything else. Just gathers his stuff up and puts his jacket on as a light drizzle starts. And gives a nod to Thamor.
At this point, Thamar probably would be going into the sanctuary and probably gonna start cleaning his weapons before, resting off.
That's comforting. Sitting in the shadows.
Silently judging everyone as he sits in the corner,
Mm.
sharpening the weapon.
The only time you see me is when the sparks light up.
Oh
Just
boy.
illuminates, just reflects off the helmet. All clothes are off but the helmet.
And then the
Better to
rune,
sharpen that way.
Yep.
the runes
For
on the
good
battle
reason.
axe. Runes
Wait
on
till
the
he's
battle
grinding it
axe,
on.
though.
Oh gosh.
He's using the battle
Oh
axe
lord.
as a whetstone.
That's what we hope.
So is Seabreeze the only one sleeping outside, or is someone watching him?
I think he's sleeping outside.
Yep. So that was the start of the thread that I made and deleted, but like walked outside, walked past the
The huge uproar.
did not see the naked Andros. Probably got out of there before then. But went back to like the rundown, dilapidated version of the tent that was there in the place of, the big, Fey Realm one. And just found a couple of posts to string up a hammock between and went to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a definitely a bit run down. It seems like it's just kind of after losing the touch it had in the Feywild and the magic that enchanted it, it's feels very much like a tattered old circus would be. Perhaps a bit frighteningly so, I suppose, in that regard, but depending on how you handle spooky looking circus things, but okay, so
Andros
anything else?
and making just a quick rounds, check up on the carnival folk, make sure everyone's bedding down fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of confusion and a bit of panic going on, but they weren't totally like for them it's kind of like a bad dream. Like they kind of like felt like they were dreaming this entire time of being in this fair, but it wasn't really pleasant, but it wasn't exactly a full nightmare for them.
Sure.
It's kind of like a weird, what's the word for it? like the hyper realistic dream, lucid dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for the most part, they've kind of, again, a lot of these people do know each other. There's some that don't, but they're kind of straggling together to kind of piece through the night, at least for the night, and figure out where they're going to go the next day. The one who's probably the most clueless or kind of wandering about is the ringmaster, original ringmaster himself. Is kind of he's just sitting in his tent, just kind of sitting by himself, just kind of like kind of lost. He's just kind of looking around. But
Also, we never specifically said one way or the other, but I'm assuming that those kids have been let out of the teddy bears at this point.
yes, after leaving, yeah, I would imagine so. You just kind of chucked them aside. Again, after leaving the Feywilds, the magic kind of enchanting those teddy bears, because had you tried to force them open earlier, would have been met with a much more surprise of sorts. But after leaving the fair, the enchantment on them kind of wears off, and they just kind of like sag a little bit, and you see them, they just open a zipper through the front and crawl out. They just look very, very terrified. Kind of, as again, kind of waking up as though they were explaining that they kind of felt like they were in a dream, like they were walking, seeing a bunch of darkness and hearing people talk around them and hearing the noises of a fair, but they couldn't participate, but they couldn't really move.
Obviously, they need direwolf nanny supervision.
Because yes, who wouldn't be terrified of a giant direwolf?
Yeah. To go along with the blue demon man. But Andros will, make sure everyone's good. And seeing that they're out here on their own and everyone else is headed into the sanctuary, he's going to bed down with them. He'll grab a blanket of some sort, make up some sort of mock-up of semblance of a bed, and bed down with them.
Okay, so CB is the only one bunking out, correct?
I think so.
Okay, just curious.
And then a shadow overlooms him. No, I'm just...
Oh, superiors, roll for initiative. I can't think of anything better, so we're just gonna dump Faust
He's
on
over
you.
in a different tent.
Oh my god, we're gonna get combat this session? Amazing, amazing.
And it's not party
Security
members.
came back.
Security's back for round 2. The lights went out. No one hid this time again. Okay, so the night passes. And despite the chill of the outside, those in the sanctuary, I mean, the warmth of the sanctuary does, give you a bit of hopeful respite. The foggy, cold outdoors being repelled by the walls of this sanctuary of life. Though, for Zidane, you notice, though the others probably don't, mostly because you've lived in this house, so you never really knew it was this space for such a time, it seems to be creaking and groaning more than you ever remembered. And for a space that's artificially exists in another plane is a little bit disconcerting. Almost as though its existence in this plane and what surrounds you is in a current struggle. But the rest of you probably doesn't even faze you. It just sounds like a house, so buzzing white noise to your ear. But the night passes. And for CB, for when you're out there, despite everything, the quiet that now surrounds the space, you can swear sometime in the night you can just silently hear the sounds of a fair just right outside of hearing range. And even if you look up to look around, it's quiet and dark. The night...
No.
But the night passes without any further incident, or at least any external ones.
Yeah, for sure.
So, morning breaks. For those that step outside the sanctuary or outside that are seeing light, the sun rises again, illuminating not exactly the most clear of days. Again, that mist is still kind of lolling about. It seems to be gathering a bit more quickly in this area than you remember. Perhaps now that the other presence that was kind of fortifying this area down now is gone, this one is starting to take its hold finally. So the fog rolls on in, and the village, the captives, the former audience attendees of the fair, start making their plans to head out, go their separate ways to try and find what happened to their friends, their families, the world around them in general. Like, what has become of everything since they were lost?
What's the I guess Andros would be there with them talking. What's like the longest someone had been out of commission?
I wrote this down somewhere.
Yeah, there might be a few date questions coming from CB2, by the way.
A few gate questions.
Date.
8.
Oh, 8. Really need to settle all of that at some point, like legit dates.
I say the void just screwed up the timeline. Simple as.
I mean, it did, and that's what makes it confusing for me to even create firm dates as well as like a calendar system. Since again, this entire world was created kind of on off of one shot, so I didn't have that built to begin with. But
What I'm hearing is you could decide whatever it is, and it's true.
yep, no, that's the point. I just have to make sure I stay consistent with it. So as far back as many can remember, some are estimating about, or some would say they've been there for almost 30 years. Though they don't look like they've aged at all,
Woof.
Damn.
based on the dates you give them, basically the current month and day. Which
Dang.
TBD, I need to build a calendar system to work on.
Oh yeah.
Is King so and so still alive? No, he's been dead.
Yep.
That was 3 kings ago.
Yeah.
Yep,
So as they
Andros.
kind of learn more of their current situation, panic kind of does start rippling through a lot of them, and a lot of them start making even faster haste to go about.
Andros will notify them at least that going east Tilbrook and going south to Dunmorok seem to be the safest routes at the moment, and that there is problems going west toward Galaran, but that the group will be traveling west. They have business there.
Okay. Okay. And so there's a bit of mumbling amidst the group, and several of them opt to follow along in your route. But a lot of them are also more inclined to just literally kind of almost scatter about because they all claim to hail from different towns and cities.
Sure.
So some want to go back to Tilbrook. Some are going to be going back to Dewsbury. Some of the residents from the outlying towns near Dunmork that have not been gone to by anyone, as well as just any other mix of towns. Some are even going as far as to say they want to head back to the Elven lands.
Well, to the ones that are heading back to Tilbrook, Andros will send the kids with them. Say, yeah, their mother's still waiting for them, and we've got business in the other direction that needs urgent attention.
Okay. The only one who is seemingly staying put is the ringmaster.
Okay.
Is he, if questioned at all, or if, people asking him about what he will do, some of the townsfolk kind of even curious about it, he's unsure. His life, his whole world was that, and seeing it twisted and put into that realm both sickened him, but also gave him ideas. And he's kind of like overlooking the grounds, overlooking what's become of it. And he kind of even passes the question on to a few stragglers who may not know where to go, or if they don't have anywhere to go, if they'd be willing to come back and help him potentially set up the fair again and try and reignite some hope in this area based on all the news they've heard.
Creepy. So Salty.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see if I can contact someone from the Faceless, but I don't know whether you prepared for that yet. So I'm kind of asking if it's
Go
okay
for
if
it.
I do that. Okay.
Sure,
So
I'll try.
CB would wake up crack of dawn, and flip the ring a couple of times. And I actually asked you this, and this is fine. Like if I ask this openly, I don't
Yeah,
care.
not
Would
inside the Fae. Or no, yes, you would have, because they contacted you. Remember, with the exchange?
Well, I wasn't sure whether like the two rings together, then it would be able to, or extenuating circumstances, what they are. Okay, fine. So I'm appraised of sort of the situation then, and then I would make the call. Got it.
Okay.
So ring ring or whatever.
Ring. Literally, ring,
Knock,
ring.
knock, knock. I don't know.
You just look at your ring. Ring, ring. And you just hear a voice, banana phone. No.
No, this is Patrick.
Well, look who it is. I thought we lost contact with you years ago.
This is Ed. What's his name? Shit, I can't remember. I don't want to bring up the notes. What was the other one's name besides Whisper? I can't remember.
Echo?
Echo. Is this Echo?
Yep.
Okay. It seems I've been rescued. It was not
So I've
easy.
heard.
The last year
See?
was terrifying.
So I've heard. Seems like your mission was a bit more challenging. I thought someone of your caliber would have handled it very quickly.
I stumbled into. Well, it seems like there was a great deal of power gathered by this ringmaster in a very short period of time. I did not expect such a trap. Anyway, the job is done, and this new group, boy, may be as much of a struggle as the previous assignment there. Unfocused, I think is the right word.
We've garnered as much from the information from Alton and our other sources following. Had quite a word or two with a, you must remember Mort.
Ah, yes. The patsy.
Lot to say about that group. Been keeping our eye on them for a while now.
All right, well,
This-
I assume that the next steps are accelerating. I've heard from this new group that things have deteriorated rapidly in Galaran.
They have. Galaran is... let's say it's a little complicated, right? You see... well, don't go alarming your friends. We don't need them to do anything rash. The king is dead.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
There's been a coup of sorts. Some members of the royal houses have decided to rise up, staking the name of a certain undead dragon as their new faith.
Oh no.
We are still mostly left alone, though operating now is even more difficult than it was before. They seek to end everything, though they don't rightly say it or claim it. But we know for what it is. We know what Faust wants, even if they don't. There are some resistances, and to preserve the peace of the city and prevent total annihilation, we've had a few key members put in the royal courts to at least stall for time.
Have
But
there
it's
been
getting messy.
any have there been any enthrallments like I have memories from then, not pleasant ones, but does it appear that Faust has the same kind of power that they once had?
To our knowledge, they do, though their influence is still limited, as they are building the strength to come. Though he has demonstrated some of his power, which is what gave this party their ability to make their move. The harbor is completely frozen, half the city wiped out by an undead army. Though those with the power of Faust repelled them, or so they say, or controlled them, and used that to force the hand. And of course, take the life of the king while they were at it, while he was defending. Convenient, isn't it?
This is very troubling.
Things are tense. One wrong word, one wrong step in the court could break out into a civil war. And if Galaround falls, you know where Voss will land and make his home then. He needs another base. He needs to be closer.
We know where that will be?
Well, Galaron falls. It'll be Galaron, or what remains of it. He will enthrall every last one of them.
All right.
Like I said,
Well,
there are some resistances, if you can believe that. There are those we've put in place and some other members of the royal house, for better or worse, though I can't say I agree with some of them either.
right. I haven't had too much to do with the politics of the last century or so, but it seems to me like this group that I'm, well, with now has their eyes set on Galarin before too long to make some sort of political move. One of the party members, Absinthoth, seems to think that he can challenge his family and gain their power somehow.
He's still in that group.
For
Maybe
now,
more useful than I thought.
you think
His
this is
family
a
is one of the
wise
opposing
course of action?
ones. His family is one of the opposing ones. For
Interesting.
better or worse, we know who they serve. They will not give easily to an undead dragon. But which of the greater evils? I don't know.
The devil you know?
Or the undead lich dragon that wants to consume us all. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
All right. Well,
Back in the old times, I used to drink whiskey. I've considered going back to that. So, keep
I
an eye
wish
on
I
that.
could still taste whiskey. That'd be nice.
Perhaps you still will, if we can make this go along as we planned, or as we
I
hope.
haven't found a cure to my condition yet, but I suppose I'll keep looking.
In time.
Is there anything in particular you think we should know if we approach Galarin?
Try not to make a scene at the gates, at least. Your friends will have power. You have 2 nobles amongst you, I believe, now.
Hmm.
And the Adventurers Guild is still no small group here. They fought valiantly during the siege. If your friend, or compatriot, or whatever you want to call him, can take the reins of Levia and force action, or convince his mother to, or his family to, could turn the tide. Faust has power, but so far it's only his showing. If we can trim that root and deal with the evil as you say we know, we might have a chance. The other option, if you so fancy it, and let me know before time, because I'd like a hand in it, could kick the pillars out from both of them, cause war between the factions, and have them wipe each other out for us. And we instill our own leadership.
Any news of allies from other lands?
So far, no. Dunmoric is working to rebuild itself, and Telnavir has gone quiet.
All right.
And as for across the seas, well, even if we could get a word across, I doubt they'd try to dock and harbor with Faust in the middle of them.
Still,
Imagine the White Order's got their hands full trying to do their own thing with an undead dragon.
right.
I'm sure there'll be a thorn in his side nonetheless.
Still, some naval power wouldn't hurt.
We can make arrangements, should there be a reason to call upon them. But to enact any such a thing now would just be an all-out declaration of war and unite, or possibly just stabilize the current reigning factions.
Mm-hmm.
We either need
All
a
right.
clear victor or for both of them to go down.
All right. Thank you. I think I know enough to be dangerous. I will stay in contact.
Oh, and CB, as I have heard your call now, do keep a low profile if you're in Galaran. I have heard other members of the Faceless were a bit pleased with your disappearance, as your rank opened up in that time. You may have
Thank
some
you.
interesting assignments coming to you to help us
Thanks for the
prune
warning.
our
Nothing new
ranks,
though.
as expected.
Yeah.
Good luck
Not many
hunting.
were comfortable with my methods before. I suppose it may become more palatable now.
Oh, you have no idea.
All right.
Good luck hunting.
Thank you. To you as well.
The connection in the ring terminates.
And I joined the morning group as Alton.
Okay.
Morning, Seabreeze.
Good morning.
So you stuck out the night then?
Yes, I'm quite surprised that no one came to ask me more questions. That's probably the easiest interrogation I've ever faced.
As you can see, we got our own internal strifes that we're dealing with, but
Indeed.
anyway,
What became of that?
the baron whimpered off.
All right. Well, if it's any consolation, I think it felt to me like that whole thing was long overdue. Maybe there's a chance to move forward today.
Well, one can hope. He's been more of a thorn in our side a lot lately.
Well, my benefactors seem to think his family is quite a bit more important than I thought. Um, I don't know. I think
Little-
the idea that their connections, and he does air quotes, um, could actually be used against our common enemy, which is interesting to me, though. I suppose anything's worth a shot at this point.
Really? Well, I figured they were in charge of the coup.
Apparently not. But we need to
Fuck.
get some people healed here, correct?
Right, yeah. We got, yeah, last thing we dealt with was, cursed Druid Grove, and, yeah, a couple of the party, came out worse for wear, but we've got a healer? I don't really know what you call her. Witch, I suppose. She helped us out in the past, and might as well make our way there.
Sounds like a good plan. I should ask. You seem to be the one that was most sort of untrusting of me being the new member here, so I think it's probably a good idea to ask you, but are you comfortable with me using this face, or should I find another?
It's a bit of a sore one, seeing you like that. Would have been nice if he told us himself that something was going on.
Uh, I I can definitely tell you that, well, the ringmaster was a contract of mine, and I, well, I work for the Faceless as more or less an assassin. And that contract was given to me over a year ago. And I was a prisoner there for the most part of that. Seeing Alton, and just prior, I had received word through my ring that there might have been a possibility to free me, though I've been told by my superiors that I was not exactly missed in the organization by all. So I very much look forward to anything I could do to get out of there. Trading places with Alton was actually how we accomplished freeing him and me at the same time. We were able to swap disguises, and in so doing, Alton was the one in the cell with the silence spell on it. So he would not have been able to tell you anything prior to him actually being able to flee.
Yeah. All the standard espionage shit.
Lest we all be killed. So
I'm sure. It just... you thought you knew someone, and then... well, they scupper off without even saying a thanks or goodbye.
I I'd venture to say that he would very much miss traveling with you all, even with all the drama. But I
That's
can't speak
questionable,
for him
man.
any more than that.
He didn't seem cut out for this life. Certainly never liked dealing with more tense situations where things came to blows. But I suppose anyone who makes their living strumming an instrument ain't much cut out for killing folk.
I wouldn't
Anyway.
know. All right, I will find another face then. I'll just say my true face might take some getting used to, so I'll find another one for the time being. Thanks for your honesty.
I can assure you, if it's anything worse than mine, you'd be surprising me.
All right.
But I appreciate you sticking around. I can't say I trust you, but I'm Faceless haven't really steered us intentionally wrong yet. They've fed us enough information to keep us on a path, and in that, I guess we can be grateful. Please keep a working relationship until you get to know us better, or rather the other way around. I think you learned a lot about us last night.
Well, if you have any questions, I'll answer what I can.
I'll let you know. Right now, we gotta get this show on the road, because time's of the essence, right?
Yep.
Good deal. I'll go, where's the others?
Okay.
Andros will make his way to where the door was. Is it still there, Zidane?
I don't know, GM. Is the door still there?
I mean, did you like release the spell in the morning, or?
Um, uh, I would if I was out of it, but I would like to see if I could have. So you said that there was like weird structural noises and uh, magical goings-ons that Zidane was able to feel during the night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, could I say during the 1 hour before waking up with everyone else that he was trying to focus on the Riel's old halberd that he notices it? And that's the time that it is occurring.
That you notice, or that you pull, that you're focusing on, like that you notice on with halberd, or that you notice the creaking.
Well, if it works in a timeline, then like after being done meditating on the halberd, then that's when the
Oh,
creaking and whatnot happens.
yeah, yeah.
In that case, uh, Zidane is going to look over at where Morani is most likely still sleeping and look down at Madeline's necklace, set the halberd to the side, and go out to where the round table now is. Madeline,
About time.
you weren't with us, were you?
No, I was just stuck. Stuck in my own little world, shouting into the void. Get it? Nobody would answer me.
So you don't know what happened for the past, well, almost half a day? A day?
No, do care enlighten me, though. Why you ignored my calling and left me there.
What's the last thing that you remember?
I remember you talking to some weird bandit thing, some oddball of sorts, and like idiots following him into a tent, and then. Oh, and then nothing. Sitting in a dark room. Seeing, hearing, nothing.
I'm
Much like I
sorry,
imagine what goes inside your head.
Bunny. Um, Turns out that we were waylaid by bandits being controlled by Night Fae that were looking for Evian, the antlered half-elf.
And I imagine that since you're here, you managed to escape alive, but that doesn't explain why you left me in a dark room.
It was not on purpose. I thought that you had been quiet the entire time because it was beneath your notice. It wasn't until right before we defeated the avatar of it, the carnival's owner, that I noticed. Well, it's funny because there was a stage, and I asked if you had wanted to make a performance.
From the sound of it, no. No, I wouldn't have. You think me some kind of form of entertainment?
No, I see you as someone robbed of their innocence.
Oh, Zidane, we're such a goody two shoes. You almost make me want to regret blowing up the world and fixing everything that's wrong with it and doing the right thing. Yeah, no. Are you going to deal with my mother or not?
That's actually something I wanted to talk to you about. You said that you wanted to end House Levia and also to deal with your mother, correct?
Yes, that's step one.
And remind me of step two.
Erase the rest of the world and put it back to the way it was. Yeah. Step three, vanish. The world doesn't need us. The world never needed House Levia.
I don't exactly recall steps 2 and 3 being tacked onto ending House Levia, dealing with your mother.
No, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. But that doesn't answer my question, Zidane. What do you plan to do about my mother? Because remember, tick tock, tick tock. You don't deal with her, I will. That was our terms. I want to believe, Zidane. I really do. I want to see what you can do, what my brother thinks he can do. What you and your little party of misfits, broken and tattered, can do in such a broken world that I so graciously offered to fix. And yet here you are telling me you went to a carnival.
It wasn't that kind of carnival.
Well, that makes it so much better. I'm relieved.
I think you might have actually enjoyed it. There were some interesting mechanics to most of the attractions.
Maybe. I was stuck in a dark room, screaming into the void.
Did it
Yeah.
remind you of where your mother sent you?
No, 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 no. That place was not a void. That place was brimstone and fire and constant pain and torture.
So you were saying you were truly alone, cut off from everything, even the void?
No, like I said, I was screaming into it.
The Dan is doing the human affectation of chewing on the edge of his lip because this is not how the conversation was supposed to go. Um,
Rarely is.
well, I'm not sure. Just as a minor aside, um, sanctuary feels off. Is it because that you are in here? I remember you saying something about a plane being inside of a plane, or some some magical
As much as
rule.
I would love to bring down your little house, Sedan, that would be detrimental to both you and I. You have deemed me okay to enter, and despite the oddity of our current relationship of necklace and goody two shoes, you really should look at what's outside and just put that big old paladin brain of yours to work. What happens when two opposing forces come in contact with each other?
Well, in one case, a door turns into stone.
You're on the right track. What happens
Oh,
when life and death meet?
something perhaps a little the same.
Ding, 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 we have a winner. Suppose the carnival taught you how to win games, huh? It's good. Good. His power is growing, Zidane.
Sedan is about to say something, but then the word catches in his mouth. That's not a fairy thought. Anyways, uh, shoot. He takes off the necklace and he holds it in front of his face and he looks into the central eye, or what would have been the central eye of her uh, very interesting form taken during the combat.
Okay.
I suppose this is an incredibly stupid question, but
Oh, I love those.
would you change your desires if Absynthos indeed took you up on your offer? Brother and sister changing the world together as opposed to completely getting rid of it?
Only if the initial promise was kept. I will do what's in my power, if he wants me to end House Levia. My goal is that. That is the sole big purpose. And if you can show me it can be done without my intervention, that was the plan. But I do have a soft spot for my dear brother. Try as he might, I can't help but feel sorry for watching my little brother being picked on by all of you who don't understand the burden of power, the burden of choice, and the burden of what we sacrificed to be here. And I understand you all have your plights and troubles and all that stuff. I showed them to you. I know. But we are given an opportunity to finally fix that. Do you understand? I'm giving you a chance. I'm relinquishing a chance I have yearned for, cried into the void as I suffered for, to prove me wrong. You fear the void. You fear the powers and things you've seen. Can anyone say different of anything else? Can you say differently of being afraid of a righteous order that comes down on you for simply believing something else? Can you say you're not afraid of a corrupt city guard who comes after you in the middle of the night because he was bored or drunk? Power is power, Zidane. It's up to those who wield it. You're scared of me. You're scared of Absinthe. I just want to do what's right. What I have firmly believed was right from the start.
I will admit that I have my misgivings about a new power that seems to have no direction, no control. And
And yours does.
what do you mean?
You're telling me the power of life has control.
I'm curious.
I said, Zidane, power is power. And for the first time, I have it. I have the power to fix what was wrong and help others as I see fit. I am always curious about what others think. Don't become a noble and have survived as long as I have. By just pure selfish greed. That's why I took up your offer, Zidane. I truly want you to show me something new. To show me that maybe there is a little hope. But you can't help but side with me when I say I don't believe it. Now then, you still haven't answered my question, have you? You are good at deflecting. What do you plan to do about my mother?
Well, one idea was to lock her into a crown and shatter its pieces, much like Grimlock's. Killing her outright would just get her, send her down to a certain friend of yours, and then let back up for good behavior.
And do you know the spell to entrap a soul? Last I remember, that was performed years and years ago. On the very form I took. Or took possession of, I should say.
Well, perhaps you can backtrack on it and work with your brother to figure it out.
Perhaps.
What
But
would
it is
it
so
take for
easy.
you to actively help?
I told you. My brother wishes me to be his patron. I will help him. And, however he decides to help, I'll abide by it. I did everything for him. I saved him from Mother. The rest of you, I'll provide the sarcastic commentary until the point you fail. And I'll give you front row seats to the end of the world.
So Absinthe is perhaps the only thing that really prevents you from balling up the world and throwing it into a wastebasket.
If I'm allowed to be selfish, perhaps. But if he proves wrong or corrupted by Mother, then he is no longer my brother, and that only further strengthens my resolve that this world is not the right one. It can't be. I can't possibly have sacrificed everything to be turned on by him, too. So therefore I would destroy it all. It's only right. It's only right.
Dan takes the chain, loops it, or hefts it up and loops it around before the gem settles in his palm, and he holds it. Sighs heavily. It's interesting. Grimlock said that Riel was the one who gave them the unfinished wish spell. What's that saying? History rhymes. Here I have in my hand someone with the power, or at least a fraction of it, to help grant slight little wishes, like Absinthoss has shown us. Don't you find that a little bit humorous?
No, I was never really into the poetic stuff. That was my father. Though I do like poetic justice. Yeah.
And so, what if I... What if I offered to alter the pact only slightly? What if I tried to convince your brother to join you as far as the Void business is concerned? That does seem to put an end to House Levia, unless your father or mother are able to produce another line.
It doesn't solve the root problem, dear Zidane. It simply means that well, it simply means I might have more hope for this world than I currently believe in. But if he doesn't accept, I'm not gonna force him. I did everything to give him a choice. And I will protect him. But ending House Levia begins with ending my mother and her conduit, Sariel.
And where does that really begin? Dealing with what? The type of weapon that he is able to summon?
I don't
Somehow
know.
just...
That's why that's the deal you made with me. That's why I ask you every chance I get, what do you plan to do? I would erase her from existence. No mother, no pact, no house. It would end. And you plan to either humiliate her or stick her in a crown and try to break her. I don't know. Where does it end, Zidane? You're the one who made me that promise, remember?
Yes, and you're not making it easy in some
Never said I
respects.
would.
Oh, yes, but altering the pact only would... All I would ask is an amendment to decide whether or not to get rid of the world after your brother decides to make a choice.
That doesn't affect my decision at all. Either you end House Levia by ending my mother and or Zariel or their conduit or both or however, or I will.
Sedan
I
is
won't let
beginning
you
to get
stand
a
in my
little
way.
bit visually annoyed. What if I just left this little necklace in here at the sanctuary and shut the door?
You could. And as time passed, I would consider our arrangement null. And I would be free. And you would let a plainer being loose in your own plane of life. And I'd have to tear that down first before I got to Mother. I don't take to threats lightly, Zedek. There is no torture or threat you could make me that could possibly come to what I have already suffered, what I am willing to give to correct it.
Call it a small curiosity, because at least now I know that if I had to choose between leaving you with something or someone else, or keeping you with me to the bitter end, at least you'll still be around my neck before I draw my last breath. Or your brothers, if things work out well. Actually, would you come out of the necklace if that were the case? If he ends up.
The details are a little vague. I wouldn't be in the necklace anymore, per se, but I also wouldn't be here, per se, if he took a contract with me, which would then, in a sense, promote me. I would act as a herald of sorts, uh, a patron of the plane. So, unless he gave me reason that he was going back on the pact, I would be in the. I would be one with the void. So, in a sense, yes, perhaps a bit safer. But should he break that contract, I would be much stronger than I am now.
And such is the case if he dies.
I will do everything in my power to stop it. But yes, should he die, I would have to find another way. If you really must know. But do know, I will. Oh, I will.
Would they have
Nine
to.
hells have no fury like this woman's scorn.
Would they have to agree, or would you simply take an emissary by force?
That's for both of us to find out, I suppose. Like I said, I'm a little vague on the details since I'm never quite done that before.
Rael is probably somewhere out there, hooking a thumb out to the plane of life with its nice, flowing green and yellow fields of grass that is completely ignorant of the wonderful battle of words going on. He's watching and laughing and laughing. Do you really want your brother to be with you? to share this burden? Or
Doesn't matter to me. I want him to be free. To make the choice I couldn't.
I suppose this has been a bit of a productive morning conversation.
You have a lot to learn about being a noble, Zidane. All of this could have been summed up in maybe 2 words, most of them being just get a move on and deal with the pact you've made.
It's 6, 7, 8. Right, well, onwards to making sure that your brother makes wise decisions.
Sure. Onward.
And even if we have our differences in how we view the world, I can at least commend you for wanting to protect those of your own, and what you're willing to sacrifice. It's something my own blood couldn't afford even me, though, well,
I'm sure your girlfriend loves your sob stories, Zidane. Quite frankly, it's tiring me. Like I
you
said,
are you forced to listen in on everything, or are you able to?
I'm forced to listen. There's no closing my ears.
Does that extend to past walls, or I actually I am now wondering. I'm sorry. I know that this prattle is very beneath you, but
It seems mostly auditory, so as if I were standing right where your necklace would be is what I could normally hear. So if you're loud enough to go through the walls, yes, I could hear you if you left me in another room. If I am on your neck, I will hear you directly, much to my dissatisfaction. Hmm.
I'm gonna need a moment. Um,
No, I shouldn't have.
Snake got your tongue there, Zidane.
so would you like a box in the future?
I don't know, just give me to someone else who isn't so. Hmm, how should I say?
Dan busts the widest, largest grin he has ever in his Yanti life and slips the necklace back over his neck.
Oh
And he
boy.
walks back towards the room, knocks on his door. Ronnie, it's a beautiful morning outside. And scene.
You just hear the loudest groan come from the necklace.
That took a turn.
Little
Wow.
victories. Little victories, you little shit.
Alternatively, Sturg is the new raccoon.
What? No.
Nothing. Ignore me. Ignore me. You're good.
Um. Huh. Okay. All right. So That was longer than I expected, but yeah. Who's up next? Or what else is happening? Slash, how many other weird personal stories are we going to get into?
I don't know. How much time do we have?
Where's the dang cleric? I want off
Oh,
this
that's
wild
right.
ride.
I don't
The
know.
whole reason we're here.
I kind of want to see what I turn into. Not gonna lie.
Well, we can make that happen real quick.
Hey, keep your double fingers away from me.
I
Cricket
would like to
burn app
find the
sound effect.
cleric.
In the middle of the carnival grounds?
Okay, maybe not in the middle of the carnival grounds, but like getting a move on the
At this
Stopping
point,
off at Tilbrook
yeah,
to drop off the kids first. Wasn't that the plan?
kids are going with some of the carnies who are going back to Tilbrook, so
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Let's
we are
hand wave
free.
that.
We are
No,
free
that's
to
fine.
continue toward Dewsbury and Malaeus.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Nothing
basically,
ominous or
as
sinister will happen to the children again on the way back.
um, as Zidane, you said you were stepping out of the sanctuary.
Yes.
You would basically run into Andros as he was stepping in. Gives you a little bit of an eyebrow raise. Well, you're up early for, well, you know. Did you disappoint her?
Oh my god.
Zidane,
Just a grin continues to grow on his face.
eyes unblinking, squinting. There's a slight smirk. He pulls his halberd out from the side of the door. Oh, I was polishing my stick.
Oh,
you're so
you're
glad I'm drinking
that
vodka now.
disappointing.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, lad. And just reaches up and pats his cheek. Anyway, let's go. I suppose you need to spend a little more time for yourself. I'm gonna go wake everyone else up.
Was that one better than last time?
No, the connotation was actually quite poor, but at least it was quicker. You'll get there. We'll work on it.
I'm
Just
counting on
don't
count-
go around telling people you're polishing. Yeah.
What, you don't want to teach me court etiquette? You're gonna force me to learn from Absinthoth. And
Snaky lips.
Zidane
That
Oh
ain't
no.
grins.
court
No.
etiquette.
No.
If you
No.
think that is
No.
court etiquette, you've got a lot to learn, and I am ecstatic to watch you botch it up. It will be greatest show of all time.
And Zidane shrugs and taps his fingers on top of Madeline's amulet. By the way, did I find out anything interesting about Riel's old halberd, Salty? Does it feel like there's anything dormant?
There is. I'll send you some stuff on it later, but there is some kind of conditions that have to be met for it.
Ooh!
So. But much like the Axe of Morden, it's a bit of a weapon that requires some awakening, some things to happen for it to kind of see itself in its original power.
The fact that there is something to start from is more than enough. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This Andros will sidestep around him and walk past, give him a little slap on the ass, and then start walking down the halls, and rapping on doors with his staff.
There is a breeze cocking his head and shaking his head, and he goes out to find someone else or check on the refugees if anyone's around. Oh, actually, no. Zidane would like to go find the newest addition to the group, but that can come later if anyone else wants to do something.
Let's say we do it on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That
Walk and
works.
talk. Walk and talk.
Yeah, Andros to walk around, start rapping on doors. Right, you sorry lot, let's get out of bed. Its sun's been up for 2 hours. Come on, on your feet. Rap, 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 rap.
Evan most likely will probably be the first one to come out of the door, looking a little haggard in the eyes, but puts on a slim frown, but nods to him and makes your way out, waiting and going over to just to prepare for the travel up ahead.
Kind of gives her. There's a look of almost a faint disappointment, but it passes fairly quickly, and he just raps to the side of the door as she passes, and just keeps rapping away as he walks down the hall.
So what you rapping?
Some ska. I'm gonna pull out a trumpet as well.
There we go.
Wellerman.
So I imagine people are giving up.
Yeah.
To try and speed things up and not detail everyone's groggy or invigorating or apparent
Morning rituals.
morning rituals to with unexpected exhibitionism part of it. But
My brain is broken.
you're welcome. This is for all the snakes.
Fair, fair.
But so what's the plan? As you guys are waking up, kind of finally assembling outside. Like I said, we already kind of discussed the townspeople are kind of making their own plans to go out. Where is everyone heading? Unless you've got some last minute thing you want to accomplish in the sanctuary or on the old fairgrounds.
How long you need, Zidane? 3-4 minutes?
Oh my god.
What?
Moving on. No, Andros will be getting everybody, getting things together. He'll have collected his stuff. He's ready to take the road toward Dewsbury. And he will be urging the rest of the party similarly with gruff gusto.
Anyone else? Any other?
Nope,
I
let's
mean,
go. Nope.
yeah, I was just
Let's
no,
go.
I was just
Go.
saying. I'm just saying on the road is what I'm saying. Is like if to ask a question towards the dryad, just one single question.
Okay.
She will just most likely try to get in touch with her Fae Wild and just ask. I suppose what is the Sealy Court looking upon me now with whatever that disaster was?
Sapling, the court is finally in stir. You've caused quite the disturbance. The ringmaster's seat has been upturned. It is open, and it is waiting, and they are looking for you to fill it.
He just sighs and basically says, I wouldn't have done it without the people I am with now. I couldn't done it with myself. But for
Those-
now, that seat's going to remain open for a little while longer. There are more important tasks on hand.
Don't tarry for too long. All you must do is say you claim the seat, and it will be yours. You don't have to come here and sit. We aren't a mortal human court of nobles.
She just cocks a brow at that.
I mean, the ringmaster himself was never physically here. He spent all his time at the fair. To hold the seat means to hold a portion of power amongst the court. And when summons are sent, you give your answer of what your decision on the court has made. Only in times of dire strife do we ever call everyone to the Sealy court itself.
It is a strange condition or lifestyle, but being part of the material realm, I suppose it is quite different from there. But anyways, even if I were to claim that seat, what good would it do if I were to go against a foe much stronger than that of the Feywild?
Oh no, sapling. That is your mission, right? All I can say is, if you take the seat, you may finally give sway to the actions of the court. Deprive those you seek of another ally, or perhaps gain some of those yourself.
Well, if I were to take that seat, I do need the help of those within the Fae to stop what is occurring now, and that in this realm. That is all I ask.
Well, can't guarantee it. I am not a member of the court. But all I can say is the only way you're going to even begin that route is to take the seat. You say others helped you. Perhaps this is how you can help them.
He just she chews on her cheek a little bit, thinking it over. And tell them that Evian Atradesky will take that seat in order to help and bring balance back to what it was before.
You feel the branch kind of warm a bit in your hands, kind of like a expression of joy seems to be kind of seeping from it into you, just like crossing between it to you. My sapling, we have waited so long for this. I will let them know. I will give you word once the seat has been established, and your domain will be available to you. Just think about what you'd like.
I will. there's plenty of time to think on the way towards the next act.
Of course. They would be proud, my sap.
Can you repeat that? You cut out.
They would be proud, my little sapling. Though you do not know it, we have all waited a long, long time. I will see you soon.
Try not to disappoint. That's all she says before she closes the connection.
Yep. And you feel it kind of also recede, like as well as the dryad pulls out as well. All right. Cool. Any other road conversations?
Not a conversation, but I just wanted to say that as we're walking, Marani is like, I am low on healing potions, so Marani just wants to keep an eye out for plants that she can gather up with which she can make potions later.
Ooh, I can help with that.
You can go ahead and roll. I will say it's going to be very difficult considering it's a fairly well-traveled road. So anything of that kind of like nature would have been long since like picked or scavenged by any passing traders or.
Okay.
But you can try and give it a roll and see if you spot anything. So give it a. My brain almost said herbalism. That's not a thing.
That's not a
Go ahead
thing.
and make a nature or survival.
I will do survival, yes, thank you. I'll guidance myself as well. That's cocked. Yeah, and that's worse. Yeah, that is a total of 14.
Yeah, not enough. Like I said, it's traveling along the road. It's a fairly well traveled road, even to Dewsbury. Like anything that would have been on the fringes of the road, or even kind of been partially off road, have long since been scavenged for anything of immediate or apparent use.
Okay.
What's left now is mostly just rolling grass or just standard kind of like weeds and plants, but nothing of like medicinal or, at least to your knowledge as well, of what could be used in any kind of potion.
Okay.
Anything else?
Well,
Mm-mm.
I need healing for my arm.
yeah. Um, well, along the way over towards uh Dewsbury or Malay. Wait, do we have to go through Dewsbury to go to Malay's?
Dewsbury should be on the way to Malayas, if my recollection is right.
Uh,
Because Malayas was closer to Torst.
Yes. Dewsbury is kind of in between. Torst was I have to look at my notes. I think it was like a day and a half ride out from
Right.
Galaran.
I thought
And that's when you
Malayas
had.
was a half day back from Torst.
Yeah, she was kind of in between. So going from like Dewsbury would take probably roughly a day if you had horse. Like, because that was also when you had horses
We're hoofing it on foot right now.
Yep.
at the moment.
Okay.
So it would be a hot minute to get there, depending on whether or not, like you said, you stop at Dewsbury. Granted, from Tilbrook to Dewsbury itself is a fairly long journey.
So I have a stupid idea. Just to make the process like I don't know. Well, I might be able to do it. I don't know what CR a horse would be, but could I summon horses? Is that a thing I could do?
Can't you cast Tree Stride?
That's just me, though, isn't it?
I think you can
is.
bring up to 10 people.
Yeah, I think it's.
That's transport via plants.
Yeah,
Tree
that's
stride
different.
is basically dimension door. They're actually two different spells.
Oh,
As far as summoning Horses. What's his spell name? It's summon creature.
It's conjure animals.
No idea.
I would assume so. I think basic horses are like a CR0 technically, or a war horse might be a CR 1/8.
Yeah, but it's only for an hour.
Oh, it is only for an hour.
Well, we're level 8. She could do it 5 times a day. With a
Yes. I would get rid of all of my upper level spells, but
right.
or we could just take it on foot. It was just an idea.
I mean, technically, by rules, there's nothing against using them as mounts. So as long as they still fit the CR limitations, they technically could.
Right, but that realistically, even if I burned all my upper level spells, that only gives us 5 hours of riding. So
Yeah, so that would be not a whole lot. It would maybe relieve the burden for a bit.
yeah, it's probably not worth it. Okay, yeah, we'll skip that.
Okay. Okay, so with no changes, and if you're going to be hoofing it on foot... ow. Slap my arm into
Boom.
thing there. I need to look back and see how long it took you guys to get there by Taurus and figure out how long it would translate to. I don't
I'm
remember.
assuming there were no horses around the campsite that we were at.
He
Nope.
got eaten. Oh, I was thinking of Tilbrook.
Tobruk didn't have any. I think we had checked in one of the sessions, but they're a farming town. I think the best they had were like mules.
Tilbrook, yeah, no, so Tilbrook had a very rare amount, like one or two that they used for mostly farming or the transfer of the merchants. But I mean, Tilbrook in its current state was also pretty much devoid of most animals because most of them gotten killed off by the zombie rendition of all of them. So unfortunately, there wouldn't have been any there.
I think we're walking.
Yeah.
Seems so. I'm trying to see if I can remember how far I made that distance. But I think I had said it was... I want to say it was like a 2-night ride.
Torst?
From Tilbrook to Dewsbury.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's like 15 feet. Look.
Yeah, I think it was one of those hand wave things because we left Tilbrook, we stopped and did the stuff with
Yeah, it was hand
the
wave, but
the king, the Fool King, and
that's
then we
right.
kept going on to Dewsbury with the statue. Or did we get to Dewsbury and then we found out about the statue and went and got it? I don't remember.
No, so we started in Tilbrook. You found out about the statue there because that's the first.
Right.
That was actually like the second quest or whatever. Because you got the word from the attendant to House.
Leopold.
Leopold.
Yep.
Yep, you got the memory better than I. House Leopold. You learned about the statue. It was a day's ride out from Tilbrook. You took care of that. Came back. Rode out to Galaran. Stopped at Dewsbury on the way there. That's where you learned about Martha and the other stuff, a little bit of hints about Dunmoric. Then you went from Dewsbury to Galaran, did some stuff there, got the new quests, went to Torst to deal with the quest line there, or the quest you got there from the Adventures Guild, dealt with Malaeus, dealt with all that stuff, came back to Galaran, found out the Widow's Kiss was going crazy.
Did something about that.
Did something about that, came back, got arrested.
Yep.
It's just been a fun time. So we did slightly hand wave it. The only reason why it matters more so now is we have like two things that are kind of on a timetable to an extent. So we have whenever Absinthoth's Wish comes back, as well as the full moon.
do you mean when he
It-
comes back? It's been 7 days.
Okay. I thought it was still one more day, but it
No.
wouldn't matter. Okay.
It's been
Well,
back for
We
like a
spent
day.
like a week of downtime in Dunmorok.
that's right. We did. That's right. That's right.
Oh, we had a whole week. Oh my goodness.
Not entire week. We got a couple. Yeah, guys got a couple days.
Yeah, I could have ripped another hole into the interdimensional void. Anyways,
Just something everyone wants to do every now and then when they're killing time is just
You still could.
still good. Still got
Just do
time.
it.
it's
this
too
time
late
would
now.
help.
No, it's never too late to pout and go cast an awful spell. It's just one argument away.
I would say it's probably about a 3 days walk if you guys are not stopping for any like detours or any extended periods anywhere.
Mm.
'Cause I think I had said it was roughly about like a day and a half's journey on horse. My memory serves from what I had in my notes.
So confirm there are no horses anywhere near here.
I mean, there wouldn't be any wandering the roads.
I would like to roll a Disney point.
And there are no horses or riding things left in Tilbrook.
I mean, considering the state you saw Tilbrook in, the only like animal they kept around was Bessie.
I mean, if we all fit on top of Bessie and gave it enhance
my God.
ability and that Hill Giant potion,
And no one can cast like polymorph or something.
Oh, we've
To make
got
one
of
quite a few
us-
polymorphs.
I mean, yes, but it only lasts an hour. So
Yeah, but you can go a long way on a dragon's back in an hour.
I don't think I can do that.
I love to think that this is a conversation happening in character. It's like, why don't you
What-
just turn into a dragon?
What can you polymorph things into?
Beast.
Hold on, let me. I don't think a dragon is a beast technically, is it?
No.
Okay, then a giant eagle.
Why go giant eagle when we could go giant swan?
While you're arguing that, I'm gonna wash my cup out.
You go wash your
Or-
cup out.
Or Quetzalcoatlus.
Oh my God.
Frickin' flying through the
Either
sky
way.
on dinosaurs.
Either
I
way,
think
how does the Dan feel about everyone wanting to ride Morani now?
I mean,
Oh my God.
that's assuming she cast it on herself.
No!
Well, who's to say she wouldn't cast it on Zidane?
She doesn't have polymorph.
Oh,
She's a
no.
druid. She changes shape. I don't think anyone has actual
I
polymorph.
thought somebody had
No,
polymorph.
I've got polymorph. I've got
Yeah.
polymorph. That's how I turn Zidane into a dolphin.
right,
This
turn
session's back.
You can cast
Yeah,
polymorph
yeah.
and then
I feel
wild
like it's
shape
slightly
as well.
less effective.
So, we just draw straws for who gets a cast on them. And then Giant Eagle, and then Bob's your uncle, Dewsbury in like an hour.
And
I mean, with that-
Andros also has polymorph because he was intrigued by what he saw Morani did, and he can twin it. So we could have 3 giant eagles for an hour.
Oh my God.
Well, no. So what you want to do is you want to pick somebody, and you polymorph them, and you fly as far as you can in 55 minutes, and then you land and you do it again.
But the real question is,
Right,
if you polymorph Daymar, will it be a shadow armor?
you need to bring everyone else
Probably
with
the right
you.
one.
If we have 3 giant eagles, they're all large beasts. Each one could hold 2 people.
Oh, I thought it could hold more than that, but yeah, you're
No,
right.
No.
giant eagles are only large.
Huh.
So
Well, okay, assuming that we're actually considering this, how far would we be able to get if we were doing the giant eagle thing?
In an hour?
Why
Okay.
are you making me do math?
I'll do it.
It's not good
We got you.
math.
I
Fucking,
got you.
well,
It's 800
So-
feet in a minute.
Where's the... No, there's a stat block
Craig,
for...
this entire conversation here is making me think of horse stacking.
Yeah.
war horses have a speed of 60. Giant eagles have a speed of 80. Both could dash. Both could,
Giant Eagle,
the eagles
fly
Eagles are going to go
80.
faster, and they're not restricted by terrain.
Yeah, so you'll get a lot further, faster, but you do have a limitation on a time limit of how long you can use them. hour is still a decent amount of time if you're each only burning it once. I don't know how many times you guys can each. I think you can burn it like 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken.
I can
We
do
can-
it twice.
Same.
Yeah.
So
So
we could for 2 hours of the day we could be flying at 160 feet every 6 seconds on giant eagles.
So if
160
it,
feet is
About almost 20 miles in a.
well, that's okay. So that's
An
if you
hour.
do dash. Like, if you're not even doing dash on the giant eagle, if it took a day and a half to get between Tilbrook and Dewsbury, it'd take about a half a day to do it on an eagle, and then if you dash that, it'd be down to less than a quarter of a day.
which would
So
be
quarter of a day would be like 4 casts of polymorph, I think.
We
6
could
hours roughly.
So we could basically half the distance in 2 casts.
Yeah, I think that's right.
We still do the polymorph plan?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think that it's actually feasible. So, all right, Treg, are we actually doing this?
I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't get this from Critical Role, but I mean,
Yeah, I trust me. I was gonna wait to suggest it. I'm just like, well, let's see what comes up with. But
No,
there's
no,
always the
this-
giant
I'm
eagle
fine.
plan.
I'm fine. Giant eagle. Let's go. Let's go. Happy with this.
Okay.
Right, Ronnie, you know how you turned old lover boy into a dolphin, right?
Oh my god, I just realized something. I'm sorry. I can give us another. How long does my wild shape last?
You tell me. Isn't it in your spell sheet?
I think it's half your class level. So for you it'd be 4 hours.
Okay, I can give if I cast it on myself. I mean, it would just be one eagle, but I can turn it into CR1 creatures with flight speed now, and that's what a giant eagle is.
You're just
still
gonna
need-
carry Sedan, no one else. Got it.
We still need
Yep.
we still need enough to carry 4 people.
Well,
'cause
no,
3
okay,
people would be
so
turned into it.
what if you just carried Zidane and Absinthoss directly to Malaise?
Oh,
And the
this
rest
will
of
work
us, like, just
swimmingly,
hoofed it.
Yes, and Madeline, wonderful. I mean, what?
Well, and you've still got Andros with his polymorph, so you could at least cut down on the time that it would take for you guys to catch up. I mean, that's an idea.
It's true.
I don't know if it makes
All I'm
sense to
saying is that would get those two there a lot faster, and then we would come in like a day or a day and a half later.
I really hate to suggest this because I really shouldn't step into DM, but based on the stuff you're already suggesting, because you're going to come up with something dumb, I have a slightly dumber solution.
Oh, please. Please do.
Morani turns into a bird, flies Zidane. However, before Zidane leaves, he summons his sanctuary. You all pile into the sanctuary. He closes the door. He flies to a new destination, opens the sanctuary somewhere else. You have now just cheated Dimension Door.
I love it.
Well
I love
done.
it. Let's do it.
Well
Let's
done.
do it.
I don't know
Yes.
if that actually works, but to my knowledge, even if the door closes, I don't think the realm
No, we're going to
collapses.
decide that it works because that's a brilliant idea.
The GM said it.
Actually,
it's official.
Salty, you just established it did because Madeline posited that she would stay in there. She would stay inside the
She could have been
sanctuary if
bluffing.
she was- I mean,
Technically, I mean, I also said equipment and stuff stays in there, so it has to exist in some form. But the sanctuary itself is not a standard, like, created dimension. It's a, like, location of sorts in a plane of life. But
it is a house property that subscribes to non-Euclidean geometry.
I mean, it's not. Here's the thing. I'm kind of amused. It's not combat functional because it's still a 10-minute cast to get the door open. And if you get ambushed, well, half your party is now in another plane of existence.
Right.
So
It's fine. It'll be fine.
But
This is fine.
yeah, I love it. Let's do it.
So, just as a reference, I was looking up the text. We did write into the power, if the doorway is dismissed, any creatures inside the extra-dimensional space are expelled into the open spaces nearest the entrance.
Drag, shut up.
Sorry.
But if it's not dismissed and it's just opened up at a different place,
Reality can be whatever the DM wants it to be.
Question
So
is what happens in the time between you summoning the new door and the old door disappearing? Because you can't have 2 doors at once. Does it shoot us out at the out? Which one does it shoot it out us?
there are 2 other doors, 2 other porches.
What?
That's a
I-
power you
that's
just
not
added
what-
without
Yeah, I
me
was gonna
knowing.
say.
I don't.
Did Dan just open two holes in reality to just make his own door? Yeah, okay. Namor level
said,
stuff there.
Non-Euclidean geometry.
I've just set up a teleportation circle network.
I don't know.
Okay, what are we doing? Let's make a
Okay.
decision.
For the purpose of, I don't feel like trying to fuck around with timelines and horses and shit, we will. I mean, if Treg thinks this is not gonna break shit, because I probably am not thinking of everything that's about to happen. If the door is dispelled by outside forces or by the caster with the intent to basically dispel it, that will cause the expulsion of people inside of it. So if it's hit by dispel magic, if it's destroyed, like if the doorway is destroyed, it will expel those within it because it will cause that place to collapse. If you summon another door, or you will, I guess you can will the structure to stay active, you can keep your party inside it, I guess?
So it's Howl's Moving Castle. It's got a little spinny thing on the door. You can change where you come out of it.
Basically,
Okay.
like the
I love it. I love it.
So
The
so
house-
what if he casts the sanctuary and takes the 10 minutes to do it while he's on Eagleback? And that way the door is anchored to the eagle.
Oh no.
Then
Oh,
we all
geez.
run in.
It wouldn't anchor to the eagle. It would anchor to that point in space, and it would disappear. And you slam.
just be
It
hovering
has to
in
anchor
space.
to the
We're
eagle.
getting to Acme.
Well-
We're getting to Looney Tunes.
Here's the thing we can do with
Physics-
that.
Okay,
Here's the thing we can do with
Physics
that.
of your-
here's the problem: we can't have it anchored to a moving object because then you could have it tethered to like a cannonball and fire a dimensional door at things.
Yeah. What?
I
Hold
see no
on.
problem with this.
But no,
You
you
don't even
couldn't because it
follow
takes 10
physics.
minutes. Because it takes 10
Euclidean-
minutes. No, you can't do that. Right? So the only reason that you can do what I'm suggesting is because he could be on there casting it for 10 minutes.
This is the weirdest way of deliberating over a door in D&D that I have ever heard of.
We started a
Guys,
campaign
it's
delivering
a
over a door.
Door.
It's not even a bag. It's a door.
Do we have a bag or a hole or anything? Do we?
No. Nope.
Yeah.
We don't even have a bag of holding, I don't think.
We have a ship
Oh, we have
that's
the Amazon
miles
bag.
away.
Yeah.
Had a ship and we gave it away. We had horses and
We left
We
them.
left him
we left them
behind.
somewhere. Oh, you left them in Galaran when you fled the city on ship.
Yep.
Uh,
D&D
Yeah,
world, we don't need to follow conventional physics. Euclidean geometry is not even real in the most basic form.
all right.
So
Well, I'm gonna say no. We're not anchoring a dimensional plane of existence to a living creature because I feel like that's gonna cause far more problems than I anticipate. I will say the space will remain active. Like the hut itself will remain active as long as the Dan can kind of will it under. Like I say, we'll make it a concentration check. How about that? Under normal circumstances, it's not going to be a challenge to maintain it. But if he's trying to maintain it in a situation where his concentration is being tested, he's in combat for whatever reason, or the door itself is being hit with dispel magic and is forcefully dispelled in that nature, it will expel its inhabitants. So he can shut the door, close the door, and the structure remains active as basically a pseudo concentration. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to backfire horrendously at some point, but
Well, it might because I can't fail a concentration check unless it's a nat 1 or more than.
It's just
potentially.
a really long teleport ritual. That's really what it is. Instead of a
Yep.
teleport happening instantly, it's going to take 8 hours, and it only lasts. You only can teleport as far as Marani can fly in 8 hours.
I mean, like I said, it's not without its risks. Like if you are ambushed or something occurs, your party is stuck in another dimension that takes 10 minutes to summon, like ritual summon the door. So
Oh yes, undead rocks.
there's risks. So you can't just, fly in and, surprise drop the party into something until you find some way to circumvent ritual casting, which,
This is not the holy hand grenade of a paladin in a bottle.
but let's, for the time being, I guess, I'll figure out the specifics on how I just said that, but you can have the space itself exist as a concentration. And it will remain so until either your concentration breaks or you open the door and will it close, or again, if you have the door active and someone hits you with hits the door with dispel magic, or anything of that nature that would cause the effect to end abruptly anyway.
I'm just imagining you've got Marani flying Zidane, and the rest of us are just sitting in the house for like 8 hours, just like twiddling our thumbs.
Did we just invent airplane flight? Are we in Spirit?
Who are we kidding? This is Southwest. You didn't pick your seat.
If it was Southwest, you wouldn't be leaving. We'd still be stuck at Tilbrook. There's been a delay of flight. Our Eagle transformation spell is not happening right now. We'll be happy to get on the ground here in another 2.
Our fuel truck has been delayed.
Folks, looks like we're gonna have some turbulence. It appears that our paladin's concentration is being broken. Put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
It appears our paladin has been slightly distracted by the eagle he is flying on. They've decided to land and make a bit of a ritual. It will take off again in the next few minutes. Please stand by.
Oh my.
Anyway.
Thank you for choosing Air Marani.
Druid Air.
And don't worry, there are no snakes on this motherfucking plane.
So.
That just made this entire thing worth it.
All right.
Marani flies
So
8 hours as
I can
a bird.
if I do it wild shape, then I can do 8 hours, but I'll have to do it twice.
So mid-flight ritual then? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
So
what's gonna have to happen.
It drops, and then as an action, you'd cast it again. So you
Yeah.
just pop out of a bird, and then 6 seconds later, you pop back into a bird, and Zidane has a heart attack as he.
Yep.
Well, I imagine you land before it ends to recast it,
Nope.
unless you really
Well,
just want to
yes.
drop Zidane
Just
out
stay
of
high enough that you don't hit the ground in one round.
I think that we can afford enough time for me to land.
Nope. Have to make every foot count.
Fly, our fools, fly.
Okay, yes,
Bloodstruck fools.
we're doing it. Let's go.
Okay, because the GM has lack of better ideas and actually is slightly intrigued by the way I've just probably giving you guys more power than I should have again, but
Thank you, GM.
I kind of like the idea. Yeah, you're just all twiddling your thumbs in this plane of life as they're flying through foggy, like.
Andros will request to ride on their back as well.
Can I take 2 people?
You're a large bird, large creature.
Probably counter was saying Absinthoth would need to, because he also requires healing.
You'll get
But
there.
we're
at the same
carrying
time.
everybody with us.
Well, yeah, but wait.
Why does it matter if he's on the back or in the thing?
Never
We're
mind,
carrying
never mind,
everybody.
never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He is looking at me and shaking her head.
Shenanigans.
I feel like that's like half the session so far. Is she should be looking over and shaking her head at you, but
She just agreed with you, even though her mic is muted.
No, wait. Andros would stay inside. We've got a person to talk to. A curious person.
We need to take a bite out of him.
all right. So to sum it up, and
Yeah.
we can figure out details in chat at some point, I suppose, since it's already going on midnight, and this took a lot longer than I thought to get through just leaving.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, it's been fun. I just didn't expect to get derailed a little
It's
too
us.
easily. It's fun.
It's us.
Yeah,
It's true.
I mean-
it's fun. But
It's a door. It's a bag.
Yeah, so we'll say the door kept open. You piled on in, having come up with this ingeniously stupid but brilliant idea. Dismiss the door with everyone still chilling, and take to the skies on the back of your Flight 409 Marani to Dewsbury. As you're getting closer, though, to Galaran, you do notice that especially when you land, the fog is growing much, much thicker as you get closer
Okay.
to Galaran. To a point where when you land, it's difficult to see anything around you. You feel kind of that same cold, uneasy chill in the air. And no, like, kind of frighteningly enough, you don't really hear the sound of, like, animals and stuff around you. But as quickly as you land, turn back to a bird, take to the skies again, and fly over to Dewsbury. Unlike Tilbrook, it's not, heavy set with fortifications and stuff, but the town looks much emptier than you remember it. A lot of the houses seem kind of run down or even not inhabited anymore. Though there is still a glow of light coming from Tequila Mockingbird.
Forgot that was the name of the place.
145 miles, roughly, at that speed.
So yeah, as you come to a land in Dewsbury, again, it's quiet. It seems like really the only light or warmth is coming from the inn. Summon your door, I imagine, beforehand, kind of bringing all your party members out who have been just lounging the entire time. And stepping into the inn, you find very few people, mostly kind of cowed over their drinks or sitting quietly and eating. You do see Maticus tending to the bar in the back. You also see Martha alongside him tending to the bar. Her being, a bit more stern, but Maticus is happier than you remember. Kind of got a big grin despite the solemnness around. Though you also notice another particular dwarf sitting at the counter. It is not Thunderhands.
Oh.
Oh, you heard me Berserk Spike. Okay.
I figured I'd lead up with it because I was waiting for that. I was waiting for the feedback. No, it is not Thunderhands.
Particularly singed dwarf.
It's Thunderhands' better looking brother.
Oh my.
Thunder hips.
No. Lightning fingers. It's Thunderhand's roguish brother, Lightning Fingers.
I was thinking lightning fist.
It's Lightning Fist. He doesn't come as loud, but he comes twice as fast.
Oh,
Anyway,
no.
No.
No, it is not any of that.
Thank
It's a
you.
female dwarf wearing the clerical robes of.
Aw, if only Alton was here.
Except Alton might already know that she was on her way. There might be a reason that Alton may have already contacted her.
Yeah, guys, I don't own Alton anymore. You got to remember.
Yeah.
He still does things. He's not dead.
What does CB's new persona look like?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So, Salty, I was gonna ask you a favor to just tell me what kind of token I should use, because I was gonna, ritually prepare something from CB's past. I don't know what it would be though.
I mean, that's honestly whatever you want.
Is it Pierce Brosnan? Is it Daniel Craig? Is it Sean
these are all good
Connery?
suggestions. It's just not Alton anymore. That's for sure.
It's
that
Gek.
It could be Gek.
Yep.
It could be Gek.
Yep.
It could be Thunderhands. You don't know.
No thanks.
Somehow you
Please
strike up
no.
the uncanny resemblance to Thunderhands despite never met the dwarf. I just
No.
assume that's the way dwarves look nowadays.
CB does not know what he looks like.
we never settled on a token for Thunderhands, did we? Oh,
It's
I gotta
just
scroll
the
through
carnival
this.
attendant.
No,
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of a free reign as far as if you want to pick a token for it.
It's gonna be female, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have looked while we were talking
It's
about
all
how
good.
to fly
It's not a big
eagles,
deal right now. We can always again kind of go over a bit
Now-
later.
Oh yeah.
I don't have have the rest of us met Ed Barra yet?
I don't think so.
No.
Absinthoss and
Absinthoss did.
Absinthoss definitely has.
maybe
I don't
if
think the
she came to the
rest of us.
boat. I think she came to the boat though, right? So
Yeah.
Mort has met her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is Mort still with us? Have we ditched him yet?
we ditched him in Tilbrook.
That's right, we did ditch him
Yay.
in Tilbrook.
I told him he could leave, and then people told him, no, stay. Please stay.
He never followed after you or even bothered getting up in the morning when you
Yeah,
guys went after the remaster.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Expected.
he is off the hook for the time being. I'm trying to
Enjoying
remember.
some well-earned goat
I
cheese rest.
feel like you guys may have met Ibarra because she came to Morden after, or to not Grimlock, to
That's
Grimbar.
right. She was
part of the
the
assembly.
leader. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the new leader of the Church
So-
of Moradin.
I feel like you would recognize her, but maybe not know her personally as much as like Alton and Absinthoss may have.
Mm.
But I think you would recognize her just from the fact that she did take up a pretty prominent position after like leaving.
Well, Andros will go greet Maticus, and we'll let people who actually know Edbera talk to her.
Eh, what can I do? What can I do for you?
Oh. Right. Hi, Maticus. We're responsible. I hope your wife told you. That's us. We're back from Dunmoric.
He raises like kind of a strange eyebrow at you, then looks over at Martha, and she just
Hey,
she gives
Martha.
you guys a wide smile.
So you made it all safe then?
I don't think I had a voice for her because I don't think she ever actually interacted other than say she was leaving.
Mhm.
Uh,
Dwarf
Good,
female
very-
number 1.
she,
Oh, boy.
right, Milo, this is the one I was the group I was telling you about. I want the free Dunmoric.
We stopped in here. What was it, a month or 2 ago?
He looks over you. Some of you look familiar. You don't.
Right. Hang on, and just pulls out the flask, and Barnacle appears.
His eyes go
He's a little
really.
different, but do you remember him?
His eyes go really wide. Oh, lad, what happened to you?
Nothing. Well, just became him, and then became me. Some real fucking weird shit happened.
He just stares, puts down the mug, grabs a filled mug, downs it as quick as a dwarf can, sets it down. Right. Well, Martha here says you're the ones responsible for bringing her home. That's enough for me. I'm going to sit down for a bit.
It's all right.
Yes.
Barnacle, back in. Yeah, all right.
And as you're talking to him as well, Edbara, hearing Martha, turns her head and her eyes go real wide, and she kind of looks over the group, and you see, for those that notice her, kind of she looks a little disappointed, but she knows he wouldn't be here, but comes back over. It's you. Alton told me you'd be coming through here. He said something, calling a favor of sorts, and said it was a bit critical that I meet you here. So it took some time, and after consulting Morden, thought it was the right thing to do, and anyway, I'm Edbora of the clergy of Morden from Damoric. I think I've met some of you.
Right. Oh, I remember seeing you at the palace when everything was, well, being deliberated over.
Right, yes, crazy times. But,
Aye.
still grateful for everything you did. It's a shame, though, that we're seeing the sun so soon that it's covered up by all this fog. It's unnatural. Anyway, that's a story for a different time. He told me you had something I needed help with. Afflictions?
If you think you're divine magic is up to the task. We've got
Perhaps we
two.
should abscond into a private room before discussing.
Oh, right. Um, Maticus, if we may. Maticus gives a bit of a gruff nod. Yeah, rooms are upstairs. They're all.
Fair enough.
She nods and leads you upstairs and takes you into one of the many in rooms. You see all the doors are like partially open, unlocked with no tenants. All right, I guess we'll be okay up here. Um. Anyway, well, I'll help you out first, and then if you want to tell me what's going on, perhaps we can maybe figure out what's going on with the world around. I thought Dunmorag was in starry shape, but this is. This gives me chills down my spine.
We're. I hate to say it, but we're fairly sure we know what's going on. But that can be a story after we get these lot dealt with. Um, Scales here got himself bit by a werewolf. It might have been undead too. Oh, it's something wicked nasty, and he growls at us occasionally. And old Ascot over there, well, his arm's made of wood.
Oh dear. She kind of like rushes over, grabs your arm, Absinthoss, and kind of looks it over. Right, and you grabs your arm and looks it over. Ooh, nasty ones indeed. As for the wooden arm, I can probably remove this curse over the night through Mordant's guidance. As for you, this one's tricky. It's it's a lot. I can maybe keep it at bay, at least stem it for a while, but this is something potent. What happened?
It was a little result of. He looks pointedly over at Absinthoss.
Dead druids of the wood. Thought it'd be a good idea to bite our paladin.
Oh. Like I said, I might be able to give you some comfort, or I can maybe stem it for a bit, but this is something nasty indeed. I don't know.
You could focus on his wound. Would that make it better?
I don't know.
Edbera, small question. Have you ever heard of the. I don't know if it's a deity or just some sort of demigod. His name is Ploink.
Oink. I have no idea what you're talking about. Is it some cult or some odd name for a god? None that I know of in the Pantheon.
Well,
Most of my studies are devoted to Morden, so there's many mysteries I probably don't know of.
it was a long shot, but seems to be a Fae, a power of the Fae that reaches into our realm from time to time. We got help from them once.
I don't know. Maybe this Bloink has some power I don't. What's afflicting you, lad, is some parts curse, some parts magic, something. Can't quite put my finger on it. Like I said, I can maybe stem it. Maybe make the urges or whatever is afflicting not so severe, but the root cause of it, I don't know. I don't know if I have the strength. The knowledge, really. I can ask Mordred and see what answer I get.
Any help is appreciated, but before consulting Arden, do you know if this is some sort of magic curse that you have to, how would I phrase it? Is it something that you have to resist giving into?
She kind of like
Strange
probes.
wording, I know.
She kind of like gently grabs your arm and kind of moves her arm around a little bit. She gives you kind of a stern look. Only one way to find out, I guess. Can you, big one, armored one, can you come here for a minute?
That's usually they more.
He walks on over.
Can you help hold him down for a second?
He will help hold him down.
And you see she mutters a slight spell. You see kind of bit of a glowing light appear on her finger, and she jabs it into the bite wound. Roll me a... Where'd I have it? Ah, dang it, stop it.
Please don't say wisdom.
Worse, intelligence.
That's the same, but yeah. Hey, wait a second.
I thought wisdom was one of your saves.
Paladin.
No, you're a charisma caster. Paladins.
I have proficiency in this save. Yes. Intelligence and wisdom were my dump stats.
It is wisdom save. It is wisdom save throw. I've got a different thing. Yep, wisdom save throw. Not because you were mentioning it, but because literally that is what it is for this. Because it is not standard werewolf. So
Normal or...
normal.
Oh no.
Okay. As she does so, you feel this searing pain in your arm, and an anger, this uncontrollable just rage fills you, stemming from just a source you don't even realize. Like something is just lashing out inside you. And as you're doing so, Thamor, go ahead and roll me a strength check or a athletics.
Not that I think he needs it, but I'll guide and
Athletics?
say more.
I don't know if you'd have the. Well, maybe you would have the time to kind of catch on that he's kind of starting to grow a little bit out of control.
Just a regular athletics save? Not save, just...
Yes, check. Athletics check.
Oh, Lord, it's
yeah, no, that's not gonna happen, lucky. Oh, so that's acrobatics, I'm sorry.
Yes, you are not going to, trip over him.
Add a D4 on top of that. No go.
Yeah,
Maybe it'll help.
To begin with.
Thamor is proficient in acrobatics.
Yes.
What?
When that armor comes off, the true dancer appears. All right.
Did you roll that?
It's a bit of a struggle as Zidane starts
Did he-
thrashing around wildly.
Wait, did he put the guidance on?
I did not, so it's a +4 on top of that.
D4 plus
D4.
Yeah, oh, D4. Let me just,
16.
16.
Okay. You're able to keep him controlled or restrained, but it is very difficult as you see him thrashing around. you notice that his skin starts growing very heavily with like the scales that were kind of like hidden or not as evident grow much thicker, almost like plating. His fangs grow a little bit longer, and his eyes seem to narrow and grow a bit wider as you hear him like hiss. Mix of hissing and growling as he's thrashing about trying to free himself before she pulls her hand back. And you feel this soothing calm as she mutters another spell. And you kind of calm, and your vision returns to you. And you just see Thamor basically sitting on top of you, pinning you down to the ground. Oh boy.
Sedan is looking up into the constantly armored visage of Thamor, and then slowly taps on his forearm.
You good? I don't need to smack you around some.
I mean, I'd rather you not. I think I know what that anger leads to now.
Power?
No, anger leads to
Yeah,
hate.
no, thank you. Thank you.
Hate leads to suffering.
Andros is leaning against the wall and he just calls out, "Oi, Thamor! If you're kissing me, stiffens up real nice. Not hard to hold
Oh.
on to at all."
Yikes.
Good lord, man.
Yikes.
No.
Can I also
Why?
see how hard it'd be to throw, to throw things in my hands at the blue man?
I'm currently in your hands, so please don't.
Yeah,
throw
my
me.
point.
Just throws
Roll
Sedan.
me in athletics, I
No,
guess. He is
no,
wearing
no,
armor,
no, no,
so
no,
it
no.
might be a bit difficult, but
Wait, are you throwing me? What's going
Wait, seriously?
He said I could do it, so good luck.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh no.
Uh,
Oh no.
can I do a save of some
so
sort?
as you're kind of coming to, you hear this exchange probably being grown to your head before you feel yourself lifted up by underneath like the plating of your armor, and Thamor just chucks you across the room at Andros.
Is this against my AC?
This is going to be against a dexterity
Dex
saving throw, yeah.
check? Okay, yeah, that ain't gonna.
My most favorite pastime of
Now
all
the
D&D
question
games,
is,
tossing
he's
people.
he's coming within 10 feet of me. Do I get his +4?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. Normal. Nope. Nope.
For better
I
or
knew it.
worse, Andros, you are just blindsided by your paladin.
What the?
He's- He crashes into you and you slam against the wall.
Oh.
Andros, you
Oh.
take 2 points of bludgeoning.
Ow.
What the fuck, Thamor?
No, it's all right. I deserved that one.
Sedan is not moving, and apparently, I imagine he's landed on top of Andros.
With that, you didn't take any damage, Zidane, as you kind of got cushioned by Andros.
Oh no.
But you do feel that impact kind of again stir that rage in you a little, but only just a bit.
Oh no, taking damage is going to be a liability.
Man who made his living taking other people's damage.
Zidane is over Andros, and he's thinking quickly about the rising anger, and he does something random.
What?
Oh no. Oh
What?
no. I feel it coming over me again.
Oh no.
And Zidane's gonna kiss Andros lightly on the
No.
lips,
Ugh.
Babe.
and then pulls back and
No.
smiles.
No.
DM.exe has stopped working.
Andros just kind of
Got it.
blinks a little
What
bit.
a key.
reaches up a hand and pats Zidane on the cheek. You really... Sure,
That's
please
for
go practice.
back in Tilbrook.
It's kind of like a limp fish.
Ah,
Claymore, why did you throw him at me?
I'm gonna flick him on the forehead and then get up and
Oh,
shake.
watch the knees!
Didn't you
Oh,
say
yeah.
you wanted to kiss him?
No, I told you.
Oh, it's alright, misheard.
Take that fucking bucket off your head once in a while. Good lord.
I think he had rather good aim with it on.
I wasn't talking about his aim, I was talking about his earring. Ugh. Oh.
Well,
Andros will pull himself
here.
back up. Right. Is he cured? Is he better?
um,
You see a very confused, kind of just befuddled
We had
Barra.
really elaborate and confusing ways of showing affection and camaraderie in this group.
Right,
the Dan rubs the back of his head and smiles apologetically over at Marani.
she's just been staring slack-jawed throughout this entire damn thing.
CB is not with them.
it begins.
CB is
You can take the alt
I
out of the
stealth
game,
away.
but you can't take-
He's still away.
Wait. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm very well hidden. No, I'm in the
stealth
room.
away.
I'm just. Yeah, so I posted a picture, but she's female now. Says something like, "I'm not really with them."
She's hanging from the wall, pretending to
Where-
be a carpet.
Where is Alton, by the way? Ed Barrow, was it?
Yes, right. Halton, I don't know. I got a message from him for a little stone he left me. He said
Oh,
he
you
was
have
heading back
sending
to-
stones.
Yes. He sent me he was going to go back to Garan. He had work to get done. But he told me that you would be coming here and asked it as a personal favor if I come out and help. And, maybe he'd meet me or that I could come to Garan and see him if my work was done. Morg is in an okay state now, so
I wouldn't recommend going that way.
what's going on in Garan?
Nasty things.
As nasty as what we saw on Morg?
Different kind.
Worse, I'd say.
The roads are not safe, and they're
Though that is the way that we're headed. Maybe you could stick around and help us out a bit.
Maybe. I'll see what I can do to make sure he's okay. After everything you did for my city as well, I feel like I owe you a little bit. Perhaps. But for now, she looks at Absent Thoughts and adds, you two need to rest. If you want me to take a look at your wooden arm, I can probably fix that tonight. As for you, well, don't go getting thrown into other people. Not gonna make it any better. I don't know about the other thing, though. Maybe that'll help. Whatever. But if you want me to fix your arm, I can. To you. It's odd. Seems like it's both a bit of a curse and a bit of a... It seems like you've got a little bit of someone else in you. Strange group.
Tell me about it.
But anyway, you need to rest. No more throwing each other against walls. It's not good for you.
I might need a bit of healing. Oh, I
Oh,
think I
you're
got a
fine.
cracked rib. Oh.
She looks at you like a mix of just both like pity and just like, well, what have I got myself
alleviate
into?
his suffering with 1 point of lay on hand.
Not two! Just one.
Just
we go.
one. That's all you deserve.
Just enough that the bone sets.
I mean, he
Shoots
could've-
more pain in him.
I mean,
God.
it could be also thematic that he applied it with the kiss. There you go.
Oh no.
Oh God.
You guys are setting it all up. I am, again, merely providing the commentary. But yeah. I imagine with that, we could probably call it for the night and do a lot more text RP. What's just occurred.
jeez.
Because unless you guys are going to set out immediately to Galaran, she's going to want to take the night to heal if you want to remove your wooden arm. So I've already messaged you
Yes.
what it does.
Please remove it.
Okay. Yes, then she will remove it at cost of spending the night basically there for her to perform, remove curse on it.
Malaise?
I guess that's the next stop, right? Since
I know where
Edvard didn't do
Thamor
anything.
wants to go.
Who else besides Alton
beans,
knew where the
beans.
bean got thrown? Or that bean was thrown?
Nobody. Nobody.
Just Alton.
It's all-
Thamor has a vague idea of it existing from talking to the fortune teller.
But we
Like-
were all trapped in our own little headspaces with Madeline when the bean throw happened.
Yeah.
Thamor knows that Alton still
With
has one
Madeline,
bean
though.
on him.
Yes, and then that one was thrown away into the void.
Well, did I say that? Oh, maybe he.
You
maybe
didn't
he
say
got
it.
that
He
out of
asked
me.
the fortune teller.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was the one against Madeline.
Are there magic beans left in the world? And then fortune teller said yes, so that means they got the beans from Malaise, so Malaise has more.
I remember now. Yep.
So, vague and cryptic. He doesn't necessarily know anything more in detail, but
But he knows that Alton's not with them anymore.
so he's going back to the source. The original goal was to get, more alcoholic cheese, and it's now turned to magical chaos beans.
I mean, the
All right,
argument-
One of these
will-
beans will bring me more beans.
I will offer that if you want to do any RP with Seabreeze, which I love that name, I can keep the recording going if you want to do that here and let Salty go or whatever. Or we could just move it to text or whatever.
I probably need to call it for a night. My gut has been unhappy with me for the last couple hours, so
Oh no.
probably need to.
No.
Yeah, it just flared up. Something I ate, maybe. I don't know.
All right, well, I will cut the recording then.
Cool. I mean, if there's any text RP stuff, I will try and keep up with. I have the weekend to read it this time. If you want to talk to any of the NPCs, let me know, and I can try and we can try and do a text RP for them, like whether it's Edbara or any of the other random inhabitants that you've now collected on your Pokemon journey.
I mean, we can certainly, like, Enderos can literally summon Stony and Umberly, and then Evian has, like, she really pulls out a crystal ball. Here's an old lady.
Don't show it to
Well, you
Thamor.
also got Orestamore. You've got the Druid. You have
Oh, that's
Uh,
true.
Was it Rose?
Who?
Who?
The fairy you originally met.
You mean Lily?
Oh, Lily.
Lily.
I thought Rose. So you got them. You have Edbara. You also have Maticus and Martha, but you have not met or seen the daughter yet.
Martha.
Yeah, Martha and Maticus. But
Amelia.
And of course,
Amelia.
we also talk with Madeline. We.
there's Madeline as well. There's
Oh,
Faye.
oh no, guys!
You never resummoned Frey to my knowledge, but there's Frey when you resummon him.
I mean,
will
I
make
would
a-
have summoned him before we left. I didn't specifically say it.
figured
But...
as much. I was going to let you
Yeah,
say that
it's-
because I don't know why you wouldn't. So
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
the-
usually safe to assume that if he got desummoned for some reason, that I would summon him back at the next available opportunity. So yeah, he's
Okay.
around.
I was about to say, what happened to Shinari? Because she was.
I guess she was in the house, maybe.
I
Hopefully.
imagine
She was in the house. I just remembered about her.
I was keeping quiet this whole time. I'm like, what's happening to Shinari? Is she left behind until Brooke?
she's just on the ground as you're flying away, a single leafy tear comes.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, it's Frey's dog all over again as she curls up near. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Fry's dog, not Frey. Fry's dog. Anyway,
50
No.
feet. Oh my god.
No, now I'm sad.
And on that note, Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
We're
Bye,